Hey everybody, and welcome to Authors and Dragons Side Quest, the episodes that come between the episodes where we play the game for which the podcast is named. And I'm running out of convoluted ways to introduce such a simple concept. But anyway, I am Drew Hayes. Joining me tonight are Rick Gualtieri, Robert Bevan, Steve Wetherill, and from the Geeksploration podcast, Ben Robinson.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, and I'll be joined shortly by my my cohort, John Williams, too. Hopefully.
Yes, John will be jumping on here with us shortly.
He did the music for Star Wars and Jaws, right?
Yep. Yes, same guy, and expect
Awesome.
that same level of quality from everything we do.
Excellent.
Speaking of things you do, aside from the Geeksploration podcast, which people can absolutely check out at geeksplorationpodcast.com, Ben, is there any special events, kick-of startings that might be rolling around?
Yeah. We made ourselves a comic book. It's called Space Oddities. It's on Kickstarter. It's live right now, and it's basically a kind of like a screwball space adventure. The inspiration we took into it was kind of like Indiana Jones style pulp adventure with the seriousness and goofiness of like a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy sort of thing. So it's something that we've been working on not working on, but bouncing back and forth between us for like 15 years. And then in the last, year and a half decided to pull the trigger and actually make something happen.
I like the sound of it.
Yeah. That sounds like a winning combo.
Yeah, I hope it is.
Indiana Jones, but ridiculous and in space. I can get behind that.
I'll tell you guys, I've got the Kickstarter page up right now, and the art is looking slick.
Indiana Jones, but ridiculous and with space. That sounds like Indiana Jones 4.
Shots fired.
Yeah, only the highest of compliments from Bob.
Indiana Jones 4, but good.
There is 100% less Shia LaBeouf.
I already like it.
Yeah.
That was the selling feature, yeah.
Yeah, this is the first Kickstarter we ever did, and it is it's taught me to listen to people's advice. Because we sought advice from like 4 or 5 people that had done Kickstarters, and they gave us really good advice, and we proceeded to largely ignore it and make things really difficult for ourselves.
Well, yeah, I would love to hear more about that. Speaking as a enterprise that launched our own a little while back, I think
I'm hoping to learn that lesson myself one day.
Let's hear some of your lessons learned.
So the biggest one, like they all said, like, start getting your email lists and your contact lists and stuff together early, which we did not do at all. We didn't really know how to do that, or like, so we didn't start like pre-hyping anything other than mentioning it occasionally on the show. Thankfully, since we do have a podcast, we do have a bit of an audience already, so we could, shill to them. But the one that really got us was like we made a comic book, and then like 3 weeks before the Kickstarter realized we didn't make any like assets to use in the Kickstarter. Like we had pages from the book, but like if you look through the Kickstarter, there's like the little graphics, the little header graphics, and the little cast things, and the rewards graphics and stuff to put on Twitter. And we didn't have like any of that, or a web page or anything. And so the 3 weeks up to when we launched it were just nonstop go, brain melting, soul shattering work. Not the fun kind.
Yep, we did something similar with ours. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, and then God
I do that all the time.
and then God smote us for our arrogance.
Have you guys started shipping Chronicles of Calamity yet?
See the smoting part.
You're really twisting that knife, but
Well, we, like you, had the same problem. We thought, the comic's done. That's the hard part. And then we thought, for promotional materials, we could draw people in as NPCs. That's a great idea. And it slowly occurred to us that necessitated redrawing about half the comic book. So that was just one of the many things I did not foresee.
Yeah, we did that too. But I think John's got an idea. He said, it should be easy. And I was like, you sure about that? And And like he was like, I was like, how many should we limit it to? And he's like 10, and I'm like 10, no fucking way. So we limited it to 5, and they're all gone. So clearly we underpriced it.
Are you a fat bald guy with mutton chops that wants to be a side character? Good news.
Thankfully, I think we get to pick who they are, so we can kind of fit them in here and there. But yeah, it's that one's going to be a little challenging, I think. Like I talked to another guy who said he charged $1,000 for it and got one back, and was like, man, we should have done something more like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
just one really rich dude.
Yeah.
Just a just one like backing perk. Only one. It's for $50,000. It's the eccentric billionaire backer.
Yeah.
We need a $2 million tier and just have like, some Martin Shkreli douchebag just buy that.
There's a term for that. There's like the $1 million hot dog, right?
Yeah, $1 million hot dog tier. Feel like a big shot. Buy this tier. You don't get anything except for the self-satisfaction of having too much money.
Knowing that you're better than everybody else.
Yeah, I might have to remember that one.
But yeah, so we went into it just way underprepared. It ended up like cutting the video like 2 days, finishing the video like the day before it launched, and it was just overwhelmingly stressful. And then and now it's a little easier because it's rolling, but you're still having to like hype it on Twitter and try and get talk to people and say, hey, listen to this thing. And I hate self-promotion. I've never been good at it. And
How long has it been out?
It's been out for 4 days now.
How's it doing?
We're at 40%, so that's pretty good.
All right, that's excellent.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, like
I was gonna say y'all are knocking it out real well for a few days old.
yeah. No, the first couple days were really good. The third day, nothing happened, and I was like, oh shit. Did we reach everyone? Oh boy. But it's crept up a little since then, so it's out there.
Excellent.
That tends to be the way those things go. It's like those first 2 days, you're like, yeah. Then like afterwards, you're like, so this is all I'm worth. Yeah, you just unfortunately you have to be shameless and just get out there and keep hammering people because it's just the nature of social media. And like I suck at this when I launch a book. I'll put it out there and be like, hey, so and so book is out there, and I'll assume everybody sees it when the reality is maybe 0.1% of my followers have seen it.
Yeah, where do you think my doing shots to celebrate reviews on launch day tradition was born? It was an unobtrusive way to consistently be like, hey, remember I have a book out today, right? You remember that, right? I'm not talking about it directly. This is just me doing a shot, but we know I have a book out today, right? Right.
You guys like Drew's books? How about you make him die of alcohol poisoning?
They have tried.
They got damn close with Corpies. They got damn close.
Yeah, and that's the thing I'm realizing about Twitter is like you can put, it's so ephemeral. Like you tweet something and it's out of the anybody's mind and anybody's view within like an hour. It's just gone.
You're also, not to date this podcast too much, but we're recording this on the 5th of November. So to say that Twitter has been a little overactive with other things and you're kind of fighting against the noise is an understatement.
Yeah.
I mean, the normal level of background rage on Twitter is quite hard to shout past normally. But,
That's what you should be doing right now. You should have like advertisings saying like on one side, yeah, show it to the Reds, like show those libtards what it is. Invest in like, and just play both sides.
Own the libs. Invest in our $1 million hot dog tier today.
$1 million hot. I heard $1 million hot tub, and I was like, I would look at a $1 million hot tub if it was on like some fancy show or something.
Especially if it's gonna own the libs.
Yeah, we tried running like an election day special, like where like one of the tiers was $10 off, and it just got drowned out. I don't think anyone even saw it.
just want to say the $1 million hot dog is a thing. It's not a real thing. It's just an exercise in thought, like something that you would not normally expect to be $1 million, but
it's an idea.
If you sell one, you're made.
Whereas the $1 million hot tub is something Drew is currently sketching plans for.
Right, and something you might even lose money on. I don't know. I don't install hot tubs. If I did, I'd probably lose money if somebody gave me $1 million for it.
FYI, I did Google to see if there was such thing as $1 million hot dog, because there's all those ridiculously overpriced foods out there that people layer gold on for no reason.
Yeah.
It's not for no reason. It's to really rub it in the face of poor people.
Yeah, it is. FYI, gold is a tasteless metal that you can't digest. It goes through you.
Yes, but it's Kobe beef, lips and assholes.
That's how you smuggle it.
I want your $1 million burger, and I demand just to have a conveyor belt filled with homeless people to watch me eat it. I mean, that's the only way you can truly justify.
Drew, when you Googled this, did you find the concept at least?
I found a lot of economic advice blogs about how to turn a big profit with a hot dog.
All right. Wait, all right. Maybe that's whatever. This is something I've heard before. It exists.
I believe you. I was just
reality.
curious if someone had tried to make a real one.
All right.
The trick is you jack prices up 10,000% and put the word premium before it.
Or organic.
Kobe.
The organic hot dog. That'll sell for $1 million.
Premium organic Kobe hot dogs.
Just got to let everyone know it's 50% off. It's usually $2 million.
Yeah.
It's a bargain.
Yeah. Just for you.
We're practically giving it away.
I don't think you should formulate your Kickstarter plan around one crazy billionaire who might happen to come along. But it can't hurt to have the tier, maybe next time.
But the beauty is, if you do that, that's what Twitter's good for, because you can target those billionaires. Hey, Jeff Bezos, have I mentioned you could get a gold foil wrap, one-of-a-kind Space Oddities?
No. The Zucker dog. It's a 3-foot hot dog as big as Zuckerberg's dick.
Really targeted ads there.
But every time he doesn't click, it goes down an inch. All right, motherfucker. A lot of people are getting these ads. They could be a compliment or an insult.
It's now you're violating our community standards.
Well, put this one in your idea book for next time as well, Ben. Online targeted penis shaming. I think that might work as well as the $1 million hot dog idea.
I mean, I can still technically add tiers, so I don't know.
That's true. The Kickstarter's ongoing.
Get a comic book and a Bezos dick.
So if there's any really rich people out there that are insecure about the size of their penis, shoot me a line. We can make something happen.
That sort of sounded like a proposition, but it didn't go over the line. So you know what? Not illegal.
Yeah. I really want this thing to fund.
Oh man. Well, speaking of Space Oddities, what made y'all decide to, take this on? Why a sci-fi spoof in particular, or just a love for the genre, a natural fit for the tone?
Yeah, it's just kind of it's a setting that both of us have always been really into. We kind of like the style of the old 60s pulp sci-fi stuff, where they got the big cheesy domes over their head and stuff like that. And this originally started years ago when we were talking about John had just gotten out of cartoon college because he went to school for animation, and we were talking about trying to get together, put together an animated show and pitch it to Adult Swim. And so that's where the genesis of it was. And we just kind of, we were 20-something stoners, so we didn't really follow through on anything, this included. And it just kind of stayed on the back burner for 15 years.
Until the internet came along.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I mean, because I was out, working in the South for like 7 years, and then I came back, and that's when John and I started the podcast. And so then, we were spending a lot more time together and kind of batting around the old ideas, and just started brainstorming story ideas and came up with a one we really liked, and just decided to go with it. And John's been drawing like his whole life, and he's very good at it. And for me, as like a co-writer, it becomes it's a pretty low effort in the beginning, because we kind of write something, get it all ready, and then I wait a year for him to draw it.
Yeah. You do the initial upfront investment, and then it's a lot sitting back.
Yeah. Because he's doing it for free in his spare time, so it's hard to make it a priority. If anything that makes money comes along, he's got to do that instead. And 2020 has been interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like we originally, like when we were at A&D Con last year, like our plan was to put, a 20-page book out at like early this year. And then this book turned into a 40-page book because the story we wanted to fit in it ballooned. And, so it doubled in size, and then, there was lockdown and kids at home all day, and all, medical stuff came up. And so it's been a bit of a journey, but it's cool seeing it done now.
No,
Nice.
it's super cool. I mean, obviously A&D would have that. I have one issue of Bill the Vampire comic, which I stupidly self-funded, thinking I would make back my money and then just pay for future episodes. Did not quite happen, but I mean, the cool thing is, like, once you have it, it actually is a super cool thing to have at like cons, giveaways, just to sell there. I mean, they can't take that away from you. Just knowing that you have done a comic book, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, and the main reason for the Kickstarter is because we wanted to get it colored. And John's pretty good at coloring, but he's not nearly as good as the guy we ended up getting, Dan Olvera, who is just it's beautiful. It makes him look great. And so most of that money is going to paying him, and the rest is going to printing books to send out to people.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that physical production cost will get you. People forget about it, but man, it sneaks up on you.
Yeah. I made like a couple different spreadsheets with like all the different options and stuff. Like, okay, how could this go right, and how many more ways could it go wrong?
I have no doubt those spreadsheets were impeccable.
Yeah, I'm still really, really hoping that we didn't fuck shipping up. Because from what I've heard, that's like the one thing that screws more people than anything on Kickstarter.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I've never tried to mess with it. I've always just been like, all right, what's the cost of a flat rate envelope on priority mail? Done. That's what it costs to ship a book.
Yeah, well, yeah, the one I'm more concerned about is international, because we're like, yeah, sure, we could do international. And I kind of Googled something real quick, and I was like, all right, it should cost about this. And then like after we got it going, like I was talking to some other guys. We were on a live stream with them, guy like more seasoned Kickstarter dudes, and they were talking about how international shipping can be a real killer. It could be like $30, and I was like, wait, what? So
And it's like, hey, good news. People in Australia fully funded us. Bad news. It costs 10 times what the comic is worth to send it to them.
it's like when I was reaching out to people on Twitter, I like noticed there was one guy in Australia and a couple in, just internet. And I was like, I'm going to not reach out to them. Just like, I'd like them to fund it, but do I want to step in that pile of shit? I don't know.
So if you go to the website and you find that the international shipping option has vanished, it means Ben did a little more research and made an executive call.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. Is like you can't adjust it once someone's backed it.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. That makes sense.
And by the time I'd had this conversation with those guys, someone had backed it all levels. So I was like, all right, I guess this is what it is.
So for any of our international listeners, you can give Ben a real Pyrrhic victory.
There's a lonely guy in Antarctica who's just like, fuck you all.
And just spends the next 5 years traveling across the globe with a suitcase full of comic books, cursing the internet.
Here's your fucking book.
Ben just rents a hot air balloon. Decides that's the cheaper method.
Tie a real big rock to the comic and just drop it right on top of their fucking house.
You know what's cheap? Buying a bunch of bottles and a bunch of corks and just hoping it gets there. Throw it in the ocean. If found, please deliver to.
Look, just tell them you're shipping via like JetBlue's new mail service. That will set proper expectations of delivery. Like, oh, I'm never getting that.
But yeah, we'll get it out to everyone. So hopefully it's covered. Hopefully we're good. But...
It's a very good bit of Kickstarter advice. Is do your research on international shipping.
Yeah, there's a 0% chance that we'll get through this without fucking something up.
Oh yeah, that's every project ever.
Yeah. So,
also,
that is...
buy a cheap wine, because then you're gonna want to drink through this, and then you've got the bottle and the cork ready to go.
Yeah. Box wine. Then I've got shipping materials.
Yeah.
Well, if that's not gonna hold up in the ocean.
Well, it's got a bag in it.
Yeah, clearly someone has never ripped the bag out of a box of wine and floated down a river.
Touche.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about the story of Space Oddities? What's going on in it?
So it's it follows the crew of a ship called the Aftosa, Dirk and Jorge McSanchez, and basically they're in the business of finding antiquities and stuff for people that they want. It takes place kind of in I think it's 3,000 years in the future, where culture has kind of simmered down a bit and everything's kind of derivative and there's not a lot of creativity going on, but there's a big market for ancient earth relics and and stuff from a time when people were creative and interesting. And so these guys go around collecting back issues of Mad Magazine for billionaire eccentrics and stuff. And they've got basically they run into a girl named Jet Paxton who is looking for her missing mother, and kind of weasels her way onto the ship, and they find out she is her mom went missing looking for a fabled artifact of great power, and they decide to tag along to see to help her find her mom and see if they can find it, and adventure ensues from there.
Cool.
Nice.
Sounds like a fun hook.
Also,
yeah,
I like the thought that somewhere in the future, somebody might be paying really big bucks for bootleg episodes of Authors and Dragons.
Future space hipsters just going back for some solid Earth vinyl.
Yep.
It just sounds better.
That's pretty much it.
Sort of like a dystopian reflection of Star Trek. I think it was The Next Generation or whatever. Because someone had pointed out that all the holodeck shit they do is from our time, meaning there's been no interesting culture since.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
I could relive the 21st century when this was filmed, or I could spend some time in the nuclear wasteland that came afterward.
That's like, we're in a post-scarcity society. Don't have to work anymore. Man, this is really quite dull now that I think about it.
Gonna go hang out in a cowboy saloon.
Well, that's why Futurama had the suicide machines. Well, I've done all I can do.
You can go two ways there. It's either holodeck or suicide machine.
Well, yeah, everyone's spending too much time plugged into that hyper-realistic VR porn to actually get any real art done.
That's a good point. Yeah, I can't imagine that would be getting done.
I mean, that's probably only 15 years away, so...
Masturbation can be considered performance art.
Yeah, they're gonna have to put safety metrics on that thing or something. It's all right, we're gonna check your hydration, food, making sure you've eaten in the past hour.
That needs
Or
to
10.
be a new competitive thing. Interpretive masturbation.
I guarantee you, if you Google it, it's already.
I am not Googling
I'll
that.
put fucking money down right here, right now.
I'll wait until after we're finished recording.
Want to devote the proper amount of time for going down that rabbit hole.
Or
Absolutely.
going in that rabbit hole.
It's like, well, my recommendations are about to get real interesting for a while.
That
As
poor
if the
fucking
FBI
rabbit.
already didn't have enough stuff on me.
Oh my goodness. Completely lost the thread of what we were talking about.
I think we were fucking rabbits.
Now it's an A&D episode.
Well, yeah, it's weird not playing a game.
I know. Oh, I wanted to
feel
mention
like I
that.
should have brought a
If
game.
Ben's voice sounds familiar to folks, you may have seen him at our live Authors and Dragons Con in 2019. Hopefully he'll be able to join us in 2021. But he's also been on several of the side quests as our guest GM.
Yeah, I usually come here with something to play, so now I just got to talk about myself, and it's fucking weird. Like I said earlier, I'm not good at this.
Oh.
But
Well, I think you're doing great so far, man.
Mm-hmm.
well, we brought it around to masturbation at least once, so it's been a successful episode.
We'll bring it around again. Don't worry.
So you definitely pull on one obvious inspiration in the tagline of Space Oddities that I know will resonate with several of the folks here. It's described as a space adventure comedy series aspiring to be the love child of Indiana Jones and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I'll give Steve and Bob a moment.
What do you want from me?
Are they jacking off at the sound of it, or?
It's a great book, but you guys tend to have, I don't know, some level of fanboying is not a fair thing, but some level of like, you guys get very passionate when it comes up. So I was kind of just giving a space for y'all's moment for that.
Yeah, that was like Hitchhiker's Guide was the book that really got me into reading, and it made me laugh, and it made me want to continue reading, and then eventually write.
Yeah, I can say that it was probably the first book that I really thoroughly enjoyed and wanted to read again, and did read again. Probably read through all of those at least 5 times when I was a kid. And I tried to get my son to read the first one. He's 10, and he kind of enjoyed it. I think he was having a hard time following it
My son is also 10, and I tried the same thing, and he got part of the way through the second book, and he did come back to me and with some parts that he thought was funny, but he's not as enthused about it as he went through this phase where he was reading those the Percy Jackson books.
Oh,
he just fucking tore through them.
Yeah, my son's doing the same thing.
He loves reading, but now he doesn't anymore because he's finished Percy Jackson and he doesn't give a shit about the Hitchhiker's Guide. And I can't find a new series for him. I want him to get back into that fire again. I don't care what it is, just something, you know?
Yeah, I tried to get my daughter into Discworld, and she hates everything, essentially, unless it's anime.
Well, wait a second. How old is your daughter? Are you me?
Pretty much. She's 12. I think your daughter's 12, isn't she?
No, she's
Or somewhere around
13,
there?
but yeah.
Yeah.
She likes anime, hates everything else. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That's all she wants to do is sit in a room and watch anime all the time. She draws, and I can't get her to sit through a movie for the life of me. She just, stands up and says, "I'm bored, I'm leaving," and walks out.
Our families have to hang out.
God, it's infuriating.
Yeah, sometimes you got to pull the parent card and be like, "Hey, want to watch a movie with me?" No. Okay, it's not optional. You are watching a movie with me.
Yeah, no, I've done that. I've made her do it as a punishment before.
Oh, that's great.
All right, you fucked up. We're gonna watch a movie now. We're watching Robo Vampire. It's a shitty movie, and I know it's a shitty movie, and you're gonna fucking deal with it. Of course, she ended up liking that one, the little turd.
When you get your kids smoking for the first time, it's Miami Connection.
You know, if you need a really good punishment, Werewolves of the Third Reich.
Oh, that's child abuse, Rick. That's too far.
That's you're going to Nuremberg.
We're talking about this movie like it's legendarily bad. I want to be clear. It's not. It's incredibly boring bad. Please don't waste your money and be mad at us. We hate this movie so much it's kind of accidentally getting a legend status.
But yeah, both John and I were big Hitchhiker's Guide fans. We did it. Indiana Jones and Hitchhiker's Guide. We've done episodes on both, so we were both fully capable of blathering on for over an hour on each of them.
Oh, and your pledge number just went up as I was watching.
Oh, nice.
All right, and now joining us is John Williams, the other half of the Geeksploration podcast and the Space Oddities Kickstarter.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here. I've heard so much about you guys, and I've heard your voices, or at least some of your voices, on occasion when I've popped in for Ben's little guest DM spots.
Awesome. Well, why don't you tell us about your side of Space Oddities and everything? Ben's been kind of walking us through the project as a whole, but we haven't gotten to hear from the art side as much.
Okay, so I'm sure you heard all about the history, so I won't jump into that again. We've talked about that to death lately. But so Ben and I, once we hammer out a story and we get a general script going, I will take it and I'll break the script down into pages, and then from there panels, and quickly realize that it's way more story than can fit in the 20-page structure of a comic book. So that's why this first issue is a little long. But yeah, I'll start with what's called thumbnail roughs. They're about the size of your thumb, and it's just for laying out your panels and your action real quick. And then I'll do some more detailed roughs, and then I will pencil onto the 11x17 Bristol board. And then from there I'll scan it and convert it to blue line. Wow, I feel like I'm blabbing. Sorry guys. And then I'll ink it, and then we're done.
What's a Bristol board?
So Bristol board is a type of paper. Generally, I mean, it's a drawing paper, so it's nice and thick, and it holds ink well, and you can erase your pencils really easily. It doesn't dig too much.
Now, see, I would have, as somebody who doesn't really understand the industry at all, assumed that most people would have moved on to, I guess, drawing tablets and drawing straight to digital. Is that just not the same, or just a personal preference thing?
It really is a personal preference thing. More and more as time goes by, the industry is moving in the direction of digital. I've taken to recently doing some more work digitally, but it's not the same when I'm doing the inking process. Like when I have like a brush or a pen in my hand, like there's a tactile feeling that you can't get the same from drawing digitally. But if you're not, if you're in a hurry, or if you're doing something that, I mean, there are uses for digital where you can get a nice clean line. When I'm doing some more like stark graphic stuff, I've been using the iPad lately. It's neat, but I'm not ready to go full digital just yet.
Okay.
I was gonna say, for the Kickstarter, the little beefies, like one of the little the mini prints, that's part of one of the rewards. He did those all digital, and it's cool though, because the app he uses kind of captures him as he draws it. So we can put together like little videos of him drawing it from start to finish.
Yeah, Procreate for the iPad, like
rad.
it just automatically saves every stroke and action you do, and then you just go press a button for a video playback, and it does a super sped up video. It's wild.
That is awesome.
That sounds cool as heck.
Yeah, we've posted a few of them. We used those as promotional material.
Like
trying to dig up anything we could.
need
Be like,
something.
hey, look at this. It's neat. Like, oh man.
I was going to say, for A&D, we need to get Bob an iPad with this now.
No, not me. Somebody with talent. But no, I'm not joking. That is neat, though. That's something I think people are interested in seeing.
Yeah, and
Bob, you are the artist of A&D. I mean, John Luther Davis is the artist, but you are the on-cast artist.
Yes. However, seeing my process is not interesting, because the final result is like 8 seconds away from the beginning.
The speed with which this man can create. I don't know, man. I think if we made one of those, we'd see some clicks on the old YouTube. That would be my estimation.
It'd be the weirdest 8 seconds of anyone's life.
I mean, when I'm listening and you guys are talking about something he's drawing, I'm usually like working and I'm like, oh, I want to see this, foreskin boots that he's wearing. Like, what is going on? Like, what is this?
Yep.
You just combined 2 random words there. You could have combined any 2 random words and you probably still would have been right. Just his genital cape or whatever.
Oh, jeez.
In the right ballpark.
I keep thinking about the recent one, the frog with the gigantic.
Yeah, I never did get to see that one.
Missing out.
Well, you and all our listeners should go to our YouTube page at youtube.authorsanddragons. Go find it. It's only a few back. Steve made it the thumbnail, which had to get us demonetized.
After you've checked out Space Oddities and made your pledge and secured that, spend just a few minutes looking at a picture of a frog with a giant erection. Just to, I don't know, just to get your mind right, man.
It's a nice little nightcap.
See, that could be your $1 million hot dog right there. Like, one backer who gives us $1,000 will get a free picture of a frog with a giant dick.
You don't get to choose who it is. You'll just wake up one morning, it'll be nailed to your door.
I was gonna say print it on a canvas and put it in the most elaborate frame that we can afford. Hang it like an art piece in like the center of your mantle.
Have it delivered to them at their place of work.
We'll get you drunk right one night and make sure it's tattooed where everyone can see it.
Oh God.
There's the forehead tattoo we all deserve. So John, what? Tell us a little bit about your background with art and such.
Well, I for my entire life, I've wanted to be a comic book artist. I mean, it started at a very early age. I've told this story before, but I guess not on this show.
That's the whole point.
I remember being 5 years old, I believe, and drawing a picture of the Flash, and that was the first time that I ever thought, like, I want to draw comics when I'm older. So as long as I can remember, I've had Superman and Batman and Spider-Man in my life, and I've always been working towards that goal. Probably not as hard as I should, otherwise I wouldn't be 38 putting out my first full book of my own. But I went to school for animation, got my degree in that, and quickly realized that animation was a lot of people doing a lot of things for a little bit of product. So I sort of shifted my focus back to comic books as far as creativity. But I live for comics. I love comics. I'm at the comic shop every Wednesday. I love visual storytelling. It's what I enjoy.
I will say, just as an aside, Ben said earlier that you went to cartoon college, and just for like a brief happy moment, I just thought, I just imagined you just talking to talking coyotes and throwing anvils at people, and I thought, no, Steve, he doesn't mean that kind of cartoon college.
They teach you how to pull giant mallets out of your back pocket.
Yeah, I walked around chewing on a comically large carrot all the time and wisecracking.
Well, part of me is always going to believe that's the case.
Dare to dream.
Yeah, cartoon college is one of those terms like clown college, where it just evokes a very joyous schooling experience.
Yeah, that's what I had in my head. It was,
I'm not sure how many people would feel joyous to be suddenly surrounded by clowns, though.
I'd love if clown college was just a really deeply serious faculty institution where everybody's dressed as a clown.
Yes, Professor Honker Giggles? Yes, I'll help you on your thesis after work. The nose paradox indeed.
But anyway, I can't help but think that we derailed the career story there into A depressing image of clowns.
No. I mean, I think in some way, I think that might be kind of analogous to the path of a comic book artist in their life. You think it's going to be fun and games, but you find your own joy in it. Nobody really does it for the big paycheck.
Yeah, imagine all these like, well, welcome to Comic College. Just for the record, we're not going to draw anything here. It's all dissertations, motherfucker.
Get your writing pen ready. You're just going to write for 4 years. No!
Oh, God. Imagine someone doing a dissertation on why wanting to fuck Jessica Rabbit doesn't make you weird. And they're just like, this motherfucker again.
He's proved his point like 10 times. We all agree with him. Why does he keep
He got a
fighting this?
doctorate.
She was drawn exactly for this purpose.
You just extrapolate several Twitter arguments I've had. You'll have 10,000 words, and you can just put the citations in as needed.
Plus the erotic fan fiction.
Okay, well, that's a different thing.
That's a bonus.
That's like
So
PhD
what came-
level.
Jeez. Oh, so John, what came after Comic College?
Well, like I was going to school in Long Beach, and I didn't find work quick enough right out of school, so I figured I'd come up here and save up some money and go back down where the action was. And I came back from college with a degree and a whiskey habit, and I quickly got a job at a restaurant and worked there for 10 years. So that's the depressing part right there. But now then I got a job working for the company I work for now, which creates why am I blanking on what we do?
Workplace compliance?
That's what it is. Workplace compliance courses. Those videos you have to watch on harassment and shit. And I got a job there as an animator. So all of a sudden, a decade later, I was doing what I went to school for, and got out of the restaurant game. And now I produce video for them, and I shoot and edit videos, and then draw comics on the side.
Please, for the love of God, if they ever ask you if you know a writer for one of these, I'm begging you to tap Bob.
Yeah.
I would pay money to watch a workplace compliance video that Robert Bevan wrote.
So, you've got your dick stuck in the pencil sharpener again.
So many lawsuits.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I would jump at the opportunity, but I don't know that I'm the guy that they want.
I disagree. Like, I feel like not enough of these workplace ones tackle common situations, such as, like, you could hear Bob's voice over an animated guy walking in. What to do if you think your neighbor is secretly jerking off on your keyboard at night?
Yeah, I mean,
first, set up a motion-activated camera.
Hey everybody, it's me, Mr. Boner Frog. I'm here to talk to you about
and we're back.
Sexual harassment in the workplace.
How to?
Yeah. Yeah, call him Mr. Rubbit.
Oh God, that's brilliant. Terrible, but brilliant.
Just because your tongue is sticky doesn't mean her vagina. I don't know.
Probably best not to reach the end of that sentence. Save it for the boardroom.
Ah.
Let's talk about appropriate stains for the cleaning crew to clean off your desk at night and inappropriate stains.
Filth versus evidence.
Stop cleaning your dildos in the office dishwasher.
Hand washing only.
Yeah, or at least take them out before anybody gets in.
Yeah, at least
Nobody needs to see that. We all know that we all wash our dildos in the company dishwasher.
No, see, like, because I'd be directing the animation, and it'd be like how to hand wash your dildo, and it'd just be like this jerking off video.
10 minutes long.
Yeah. So soapy water.
Good news, bad news. They decided not to use the video we made for them. Good news, it is up a lot of views on Pornhub. a worrying amount of views on Pornhub.
Yeah, your video on workplace hygiene. It's like a surprising amount of dildo. Never seen a cleaner dildo, but
How to wash your dildo. First, apply soap to your vagina.
well, people would pay attention at least. I mean, I normally zone out on those things, but
And that's what everyone says. It's true, but we try to make ours a little more entertaining. None of that talking head bullshit. Like we'll actually shoot some scenes of people doing things. It's not super entertaining. It's not glamorous, but every once in a while I get to jump in there and be a bartender or somebody who hurts their back or some shit.
oh, nice.
Yeah, so the lady who cuts my hair apparently uses our courses because she saw me bartending.
Oh, fuck you, Mr. I have hair.
Well, yeah, we're not on video right now. I don't have much of it.
Yeah. Note it was hair singular.
Yes, cuts my one hair. Yeah, not all of us have those beautiful locks that Ben has.
Suck it.
So we've talked a lot about Space Oddities' history and where it is right now in the Kickstarter, but there is a part of this that I thought we should reference, which is Space Oddities #1 is the title of y'all's Kickstarter. So that seems to indicate some plans for the future. I wanted to ask, assuming this funds well and everything goes okay, what are y'all looking at down the road maybe for Space Oddities?
More.
Yeah. So right now it's planned as a 6-issue arc.
I love that.
Yeah, we've got it all we've got it all storyboarded out, like what we want in each issue. So it's planned for 6. Hopefully that doesn't balloon to like 10. And
yeah, no kidding.
No.
I mean, I know a lot of people look down on writers, especially with independent comic books, that are writing just for the graphic novel. But it's such a smart way to do things. Like you don't have to end your story after 6 issues, but wrap up an arc in 6 issues. So this is basically our movie. This is our Indiana Jones movie, that it will have a beginning and an end. There will be character growth. Then there's an option to move on from there.
Yeah. No, I think
that's
that
serial content. That's Go ahead, Steve.
No, I was about to probably say what you were about to say in a less intelligent way, so I'll allow you to go first.
I was just going to say, having worked with serial content and consumed it and a big fan of it, I think you guys are 100% spot on that, yes, arcs are necessary, self-contained arcs. There needs to be senses of catharsis. You need to feel progression, plot, movement. When you go too long without that, that's when stories start to feel bogged down and bloated because it's just not the way we process stories. So I think you're spot on. I think that's a very, very sound way to go, is to work within arcs and kind of stretch from there.
well, and that's kind of the challenge of the comic book format, is that like this is a 40-page comic and it has quite a bit going on in the first one, but it's still kind of just if it was a movie, it's the introduction phase of the movie. It's the first 20 minutes of a movie where you get to know some characters and some conflicts start to reveal themselves. And the tough part is, they can be 6 months to a year apart from like one to the second. And each one of them is like a chapter of a book. So like you got to try and keep people's interest between, in that long lull that it takes to draw the damn thing.
Yeah.
And so we're hoping we do.
Yeah, and going to the movie comparison again, like there was a reason why we even called our 8-page preview issue, which will be the first 8 pages of this, the cold open, because it was very intentionally like the cold open sequences of like an Indiana Jones movie or a James Bond movie, where it's not plot essential, but you learn about the character. Like you get thrown into the world like mid adventure, and then you see that resolve itself, and then credits can roll, and you can move into the rest of your movie.
Smart. I always use that in a lot of my stories, where you kind of like hop in mid adventure. It's an easy way to throw in an action scene, get the blood pumping, get everybody into it, and then you can slow down and be like, oh, by the way, I'm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to grab people's attention a little bit and get things moving. So
Yeah. And media res is a great trick when you're working with limited time.
And I would hate a James Bond movie without a cold open. It would be such a shocker to me. Like I'm so used to that. It's ingrained in my blood and my brain.
it just starts with him like getting up and brushing his teeth and heading over to the MI6 building.
Yeah. How's it going, Em? Spot of tea? Oh, no, sorry. Whoa. I'm getting offensive to the Brits here. Sorry.
Pretty much, if you just saw James Bond on an off day, that's probably how it would go.
Yeah.
I also now really want John to listen to the Lord Farnsworth Butter Biscuit episode.
Yeah, right?
There will be another
We'll
one.
show you a bad British impression.
That was spot on.
It
I
was
swear
filmed
to
in-
God, there was a woman in a pub who was like, I thought she was making fun of me. No, it was genuine.
It just sounded like someone straight out of Monty Python, huh?
No, she sounded like me being a dick.
Oh man. So 6 episodes, or not 6 episodes, 6 installments. I don't know why I can't think of the word for comic book iterations.
Issues?
Thank you. Yeah. I don't know, man. That was just not in my brain for some reason.
I couldn't
found
remember
iterations,
what
but I couldn't find
I
issues.
did for a job earlier. So
So you have 6 issues in mind to tell your first story and everything. Anything for after that, or you're just kind of seeing how it goes, and then you want to see maybe where things lie, or do you have potentially like a whole longer run in mind if things pan out?
The latter. So we've got like I said, we've got this arc to go through, and then originally, like we were saying, like I mentioned earlier, the original concept for this was like more of like a serialized cartoon, essentially. So where they would have lots of other, wacky adventures that they kind of churn through a little bit quicker, maybe even.
yeah, we wanted this for it was in the early days of Adult Swim,
Yeah.
where we liked the style of like Sequest and Aqua Teen Hunger Force and shit, and Harvey Birdman, like those really simplistic, stark graphic cartoons that we thought would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then we do have a couple like real long-term character development arcs that are just kind of like on the roadmap. Like this is where these guys are going eventually, or the direction in which they're heading. That we just want to stay consistent to as we're writing through it.
Yeah, and another thing that we've tried to do, and I think we took this from shows like Futurama and how they put together their universe, is we're trying to plant seeds for stuff that could pay off later. Like we don't have like a solid story worked out for why this one little thing happens, but like we think of little things like, oh, this could happen in the future, and this is what we should put right here. So back then, so in the future, when people look back to this, they go, oh man, they were thinking of this back then. Because I loved that Futurama did that.
Yeah, we could fool them thinking it was a master plan the whole time.
Yeah, I think this first arc is going to be Jet's story, the female protagonist. This is going to be her big jump into the fray, and then I think the next one we'll worry about the dudes more. Give them a little growth, because I think she's going to be the one who goes through the most changes and discovers the most in this first arc.
Awesome.
Well, it sounds awesome, and based on the art, it looks pretty kick-ass too.
Woo! Thank you.
Yeah, I keep scrolling through the Kickstarter page because I really do like what I'm seeing here.
Well, and that colorist that we found, Dan Olvera, he is so just stupid good. I'm not even joking that, we'd gone through a couple colorists and had them do some tryouts, and it just wasn't working for me. And I was really scared that I was just being way too controlling and too impossible, which I can be because it's my baby. But when I saw this guy's first page come in, Dan Olvera, like my eyes actually welled up. Like I was so excited. I was overcome with emotion because I was so stoked that somebody had in their head what I had in mine. but I couldn't put it out.
Yeah,
not
that is
talented
a
enough.
great feeling when you find someone you can work with artistically who can really bring like what you want into existence. Shout out to John Luther Davis, who does our A&D art and our shingles covers.
Yeah, he's really good too. I had the pleasure of sitting next to him at A&D Con in 2019. He's a super nice guy too.
Definitely is.
That.
We hope to have him at A&D Con 2021 in person, hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, one other cool thing that came out of A&D Con that I featured, that we put the video of in on the Kickstarter page, was Chris Featherolf. He does the audiobooks for Toma Bill, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He did like a cool animatic for us, like where he read through the cold open and voiced it and put some sound effects and music and stuff in.
Oh, holy shit.
That's awesome.
You know what?
Oh, nice.
He mentioned that to me just like last week, and I didn't put two and two together. That is so cool.
Yeah, it was super nice of him. Like, he sent it to us and was like, "Hey, I made this. Do you guys mind if I put it out?" And we're like, "Fuck yeah, that's awesome."
Yeah.
You could absolutely put that wherever you want.
Man, we're going to have to fill the description of this episode with links. And in a good way. A lot of cool shit. All right, guys. Well, we're starting to come up on time, but before we wrap, we've talked a lot about Space Oddities. We haven't talked as much about y'all's podcast, the Geeksploration podcast. If y'all want to touch on that, and then maybe let folks know where to find everything about you.
Well, yeah, we both host Geeksploration, the podcast. It's two approaching middle-aged white guys talking about geeky stuff, so it's something totally original. But we like to, we're not just a review show, but we like to talk about what things meant to our life. Whether it's Weird Al or Batman or Ninja Turtles or upcoming our episode that we're recording this weekend is on Zardoz in honor of the late great Sean Connery. Neither of us have seen it, but that trailer is whack.
I'm sure it's how he wanted to be remembered.
Everyone's doing a James Bond podcast. We'll get to it eventually. But yeah, you can find us on social medias. We're on Facebook, Geeksploration, the podcast page, Instagram, Geeksploration Podcast, or Twitter at GeeksplorePod.
Yep, and you can find we're on Twitter under Space Oddities at Space Oddities Co. And I'm not going to read the Kickstarter link, but we're on there. It's called Space Oddities #1, and I imagine it'll be in the show notes.
Absolutely. It'll be in the description if you want to just click down, but I know not everybody likes to do that. Some people just punch it on in.
Yeah, if you go to at Space Oddities Co. on Twitter, it's also there, and you can click it there as well, or you can search it, or probably something else.
Oh, and I guess if nobody minds me being a self-serving dickhead for a moment, if you like what you see on the Space Oddities art, I do have a Instagram myself. It's Beefy McStudley. It's all art. It's not going to be pictures of my kid or my food. It's all just comic art.
That is definitely not where we went to with Beefy McStudley.
Where do we go if we want to see pictures of your kid?
Remember, kids, workplace boner frog says, don't ask that. I'm telling you guys, there's a $1 billion corporate mascot waiting to hit the table.
Workplace boner frog. It's like you translated it from Japanese.
Well, and we could just call it the WB frog and confuse people.
Oh, is that what that stood for?
Is he Michigan J frogging them with the penis? Like it's only erect when there's no supervisors around?
Yeah, didn't Michigan have a cane? He can just use his ding dong instead.
You thought he had a cane.
He was swinging something around.
Oh, well, with that detailed thought about frog anatomy and one last plug for Space Oddities, we're going to sign off for this episode of SideQuest. Big thanks to Ben Robinson and John Williams for joining us, and we wish them the best of luck on their Kickstarter. Until next time, bye.
Bye.
And now, the cold open of Space Oddities. Created by John Williams and Ben Robinson. Dirk's log. Boy, space sure is neat. Jorge and I were on our way back from dropping a priceless artifact with some ding-dong who's got more credits than time to spend them. Then we got the call from Barry. He sounded excited and sweaty somehow. Something big out there in the Jurganian system. Easy pickup, hefty payday. We got a name and a location. Should be simple enough.
Boom! Half-off buffet with purchase of solar cremation.
Well, crap. Is that it, Dirk? Yep, that's the one. What's so special about a jacket? This isn't just a jacket.
This is leather.
Comes from a Terraean land mammal. Went extinct a couple thousand years ago. Means it'll fetch a pretty penny for us, Jorge. How do you get that from an animal? It's the skin.
Ocho mio!
Yeah, they'd eat it and drink its juice, too. All we gotta do is wait for them to take it out of here, and we can intercept it and And with condolences given, we prepare to commit Cool Rob Mershimak's body to the Great Eternal by shooting it into the nearby star. Morticorp's own Summonus 4. Do you have a backup plan? Don't I always? I'm gonna need a distraction. Right now. What do you mean? We can't steal a jacket off a corpse at its own funeral. Distraction. Now. Please. You got it, boss. Say it isn't true. This can't be happening. Well, that's great. He was like a father, a brother, an uncle who spent an inordinate amount of time with my mother. What am I going to tell our children? Slip. Whoa, 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 whoa! Shut. Bing. Initiating launch sequence.
Hey, that jerk in the shades is in there with Cool Rob's corpse. Looks like he's trying to take his clothes off.
Oh, gross, dude. Hey. Woo! Oh, no. Dirk. Think. Choom. You see, the thing is, well, get him! Yeah, and his pervert friend, too. Hang on, Dirk. I'm on my way. Whoosh. Grab. Dirk, are you okay in there? Of course I am. I told you I had a plan. Whoa, easy, buddy. Hug. Ooh.
Boom! Proximity alert.
No time for love, Hermano. You get us out of here. I'll lose the dead weight. On it. Hold on to your potatoes. Nerds. This has been the cold open for Space Oddities, created by Ben Robinson and John Williams. Check out their podcast, too, Geeksploration, the podcast. Thank you for listening to The Frequency.